Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Disbearity here, and welcome back to the Beard and Talks. We passed that 20 hump, and it's been pretty great so far. I mean, honestly, I didn't think me and Tips would literally get this far, but hey, we're still trucking it, we're still going. So, our topics today that we're going to be going over, there is rumored to be a official Nintendo Game Boy Advance emulator for the Nintendo Switch. We'll be talking about Sonic Origins, the release of that coming out next month, if I recall, and
Mhm.
also our biggest one, which is going to be Embracer Group acquired many Square Enix's IPs for as low as 300 million. So that's insane. And then if we have enough time, we'll be talking about the Prince of Persia remake on how that's been on a weird development hell or spiral. So first things first, let's go ahead and let's talk about this emulator here. So with the official Nintendo Game Boy Advance emulator that's been dug up. So as you guys know, there are data miners out there, and those data miners they of course mine the Switch in the latest update. And so what they found in this data mine was various Game Boy Advance games, such as Pokemon Pinball. I believe I see Golden Sun in there, if I recall, the GBA version, of course. Pokemon trading game. So it's a lot of basically. Oh, there goes Mario Bros as well. Mario Bros. So yeah, it's a lot of classic Game Boy Advance games. And so, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a long time coming, or do you think that we always like we don't need Game Boy Advance games on the Switch? Like, what are your thoughts on that on this?
I mean, considering that we already got like NES, Super Nintendo, and 64, I was already thinking that at some point we're gonna get like GB or Game Boy in its entirety,
Hmm.
since there's multiple of them.
Yeah,
And I think it's a cool idea because considering the fact that since we got the N64, so there are some N64 games that require the Game Boy games such as Mario Golf where you connect it and you get like four additional characters. Same with
yeah,
Mario Tennis and the Pokemon Stadium games. If
yeah,
those ever come to Switch Online, which I kind of want them to.
yeah. Now, I wonder if with this rumor here, are they going to add in the classic Pokemon games? So I know that may drop away from
Ooh.
sales, but I don't really think so because I think Nintendo they'll always feel like they'll need to like always you can always sell the classic Pokemon games because there's always nostalgic people for that. I mean, I would say it's probably a good thing, but I feel like this should already been out years ago. Like honest, like just be straight up. I mean, it's Nintendo. It's Nintendo. A lot of people love backwards capable games. Because you just can't drop the classics. People like me, I love to play the classics every once in a while, right? Just because
Yeah.
you might want new games doesn't mean you can't always go back to the classics. Um, and so Nintendo they've just been so they've just been like snails when it's been coming out with their classics. I mean, it's kind of crazy that as of recently, they came with their Nintendo Switch Online expansion to bring out the N64. But I'm like, wow, okay, that's 4 years too late. But now you want to bring now, they want to bring out the GBA stuff. But what about the GameCube? That's what a lot of people are actually really waiting for is that GameCube version. Because GameCube does have a lot of classic games. Like, when are we going to see like Mario Kart Double Dash? Because I actually enjoyed that one. That's actually pretty cool. But
My
back to
favorite Mario Kart game.
now back to the GBA stuff though. So with the GBA stuff, they had some more rumored games again. Like they had Mario Kart. They had I think they're putting on Sonic. Maybe that's maybe. They also data mine finding save data memory for it. Also a record plus rewind function, and that's actually pretty interesting. And I think they also had turbo mode too. So
Ooh.
I really yeah. So and a lot of stuff these days, rewind and turbo are like the most two things that are like really needed when it comes to like modern emulators. Because sometimes they'll playing through those old games, or especially like just dying constantly to those certain parts. You don't want to go through that
Yeah.
again and again and again. So
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's a good thing we got like restore points that we could do
yeah,
if we want to.
yeah. And then also says you can they have the resume point from emulator onto original hardware to confirm. Okay, so confirm here. So try some. Okay, so they have a resume point. So I guess when you put the console in sleep mode and turn it back on, you can resume it for where you last left off if you saved it there. So it's actually
Hmm.
really interesting, cool. So yeah, it's only
Yeah.
up to see what Nintendo can put up and what they can put out, and hopefully actually put out some decent games. Now, what would even make this better is if you were able to buy these games. Now, I know it will suck to buy them digitally, but they can re-release these games physically, which I highly doubt they will. Then I'm just gonna sit down and cry. Do you have any final words on the GBA emulator tips?
Not really. Just really looking forward to it, and hopefully they are Not as bad as say like some of the N64 games,
Hmm. Yeah, hopefully.
because I've seen how bad some of those emulations for those games are.
Hashtag, I think Ocarina of Time was terrible.
They did my boy Ocarina of Time dirty. They also did the same for Paper Mario.
See, this is why I don't support it. Well, okay, I'll support Nintendo, but I'm not getting that $50 pass.
Nah, you gotta get that family, that family one and just, get 7 other friends to help you.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is very true. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our next subject here, and our next subject is gonna be we're gonna be talking about Sonic Origins. So recently, Sega revealed that they're coming off a new Sonic game, or Sonic games to be exact, which is Sonic Origins. This this compilation includes Sonic 1, 2, 3, and I believe Sonic CD as well, all in a package. Now here's a twist to it though. The twist to it is that Tails and Knuckles are playable within Sonic 1, Sonic 2. So that's actually really interesting. I always think, if I recall, I always thought Tails was playable in 2 and 1. No, in 2.
He
Well, he was
he is
he
playable
came out
too.
well, he came out to I think it was 1 I was talking about. Yeah, I think
Um,
either that
I
or
don't remember. I don't
I
think it was ever official that, Tails and Knuckles could play in the first game.
I know
It was official for the second game. They were
I
both playable by themselves.
yeah, I'm thinking about the second one with Knuckles for sure.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah.
but not the first game.
Okay. So yeah, that's what they're coming out with, real soon. So with Sonic Origins, it updates it basically updates the games, and also I think this is the first time officially that Sonic 3 is like kind of coming out because it's always had with a re-release actually because it always had issues with the soundtracks because if you guys don't know in the history of it, Michael Jackson helped out with the sound what do you call it soundtrack basically.
Yep.
So there's always been like a tanglement with that. So I wonder how they got through with that. What are your thoughts on this re-release tips?
Well, I mean, I'm personally looking forward to at least being able to play these, 4 Sonic games, at least on my Switch if I ever want to. Because, I mean, I already own them on PC by themselves, but
Hmm.
I mean, being able to play them on the go, it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, keep this in mind, by the way. Sorry to cut you off. Keep this in mind. If you're going to pick this game up, make sure to pick up the original versions of them on Steam or whatever digital storefront because they
I
will
already
be
did.
delisted. So keep that in mind, y'all. Go ahead and continue. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I pretty much kind of already said what I had to kind of say.
Okay. So with this coming out here, what it's gonna be basically updating the game engine, adding characters into certain stages and stuff. So that's really nice and really cool. There are some cons in this as well. So people have been really mad about how they're doing the game with DLC because there's going to be DLC. So the game originally, believe, is $40, but for $45, which is $5 extra, which kind of seems like they should just add it into the base game. They're going to be doing giving
Like bonuses,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
will.
yeah. Bonus. Thank you, Tiff. Bonuses. They're going to be doing bonuses. So the bonuses, if you were to get the premium pack, okay, it comes with inclusion of harder missions, the letterbox background, character animations within the main menu. So I guess like how Sonic usually does his little finger, wet back and forth like this. Um, they're going to be, I guess, having animations for Tails and maybe Knuckles as well in the background. It says right here camera controls over the main menu islands and character animations during music islands. Another piece of DLC, the classic world music pack, comes with additional music tracks from the Mega Drive Sega Genesis games. So that to me is kind of messed up that they're nickel and dime it and not including it within the base game. Okay, so I think Sega should like get rid of that DLC function or just uh just include it.
I think the one that like hurts the most is the whole like one that's pretty much with the whole Genesis like sound stuff since it's pretty much sound test
Yeah,
and that's usually like common with video games.
yeah, that definitely. And so, um, I just feel like Sega. I mean, they're doing a lot of right things, but then also they're doing a lot of bad things. I mean, especially if you guys remember that last week we covered about the whole Sega Super Games concept where they might be returning, Jet Set Radio featuring Crazy Taxi. But now they're going to this whole NFT slash, microtransaction DLC heavy kind of concept here, which is like we want these games to come back, but not in that kind of function or kind of fashion. So kind of sad that they're doing it like that. But again, Sonic Origins will be coming out for for PC, PS4, the PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and so you know I'm here for it. But I think just Sega should just do better. Any last
Yep.
words for you, Tips?
Pretty much. I do agree. Sega needs to do better. Also, like Spacey said earlier, make sure you get these games, before they're gone. If you own them on PC, especially Sonic 3 and CD, since you can, mod them into say like Sonic 3 Air and Sonic CD decompilation, which adds content itself to those games. It makes them look better on PC.
All
The
right.
question that I want to know is if that those two mod versions will look better than the Origins versions, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. I can't wait to see that. Hopefully, they actually put in some good, decent work into the Origins version.
Oh yeah, they also forgot to mention they do have classic and anniversary editions.
Oh, no, that I did not know.
Yeah, that was part of the trailer. That I think the anniversary edition is supposed to be more based on the Taxman versions,
Hmm.
but aka Christian Whitehead.
Oh, okay. That's actually really cool. That's really freaking cool.
Because I know that at least in the trailer they showed the anniversary was with the Sonic 2 and how there was the hidden palace zone that was a cut zone from the original game that they put into that version.
Ah, okay, that's understandable. What's up, guys?
Mhm.
It's me, Disbearity, and thanks for watching this video. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, please consider liking and subscribing, and also clicking the notification bell. Lastly, if you'd like to support me further, definitely consider subscribing to my Patreon, where you can support me to as low as $2 a month.
What's good, everybody? I'm Worx4tips. I also want to thank you for watching this video. I'm a variety content streamer on Twitch who enjoys playing RPGs, platformers, and strategy games. You can also find me on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter at Worx4tips, where I rarely post anything. But if you are to follow me, please be at least over 18, as I might like/retweets NSFW content. Thank you.
All right, so we're back with this latest topic here. So, with the latest topic, we're going to be talking about the Prince of Persia remake. So, sometime last year, the Prince of Persia remake, which is again the remake in the first game, they showed us at I think the Game Awards. Either was it at the Game Awards or at E3, or the online version, their online version of E3. I think it was
I
Game.
I forget which one it was. I think it was Game Awards, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was Game Awards as well, in back in December. And so they basically showed us this really. They showed us Prince of Persia, but the graphics were insanely terrible. Like, comparing it to the original looked a lot better. And I mean, yes, they're remaking the entire game with new assets, but that was not it.
And
Okay,
remind me again, when did the original come out?
years ago. I'm not for sure what time. Oh, I'm gonna say what timeline. Not sure like what year. Like, I want to say it's either between 2002 and 2006 ish, because I know it came out on the PS2.
Mm.
So yeah,
I was
that's
about to say, would this be around like PS2 era or maybe Xbox 360
it was
area?
definitely PS2 era, definitely PS2. Because in the
I was mainly thinking one of those two eras anyway.
yeah. So this game here, it's kind of low key cringe, and so they had to go back and it got so much bad rep that they literally were forced to go back and recreate, just fix it up, right? And so after that, we didn't hear anything about it. We didn't know what's going on with it. We weren't updated on anything. That's how crazy it is, right? And so then, as of recently, I'm gonna throw this up on the screen here. Okay, so as of recently, they came out and told us that they're basically switching the development team from Ubisoft Mumbai to Ubisoft Montreal. And so what that's telling us is that they didn't really care. Ubisoft didn't really care too much about the port, basically, where it feels like they outsourced it to a different. I mean, I wouldn't say they superficial outsourced it, but they basically said, "Here, Ubisoft Mumbai, you guys, this was your first project. You guys are inexperienced. We're gonna try to give it to you, and let's see what you guys, let's see what happens." Right? They did that, and I guess you could say that Ubisoft Mumbai might just not been experienced enough for this remake. So I guess they told the higher ups that, hey guys, we have to basically we can't work on this. We don't know how to make it better to the new standards of what Ubisoft games are about. So as of recently, as you guys see here, it says we're giving this to back to Ubisoft Montreal. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this here and let you get I'm gonna go ahead and read this to you guys here. Hello, Prince of Persia fans. The development of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake will now be led by Ubisoft Montreal, the very birthplace of the epic Sands of Time trilogy. This decision is an important step, and the team, building upon the work achieved by Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai, will now take the time they need to regroup and scope on the game to deliver you the best experience for this remake of an all-time classic when it's ready. We want to thank you for all your continued support and patience throughout the development team. Rest assured that we will update you on the progress and future update. Hashtag the dev team. So as you see here, that basically is telling that they just didn't have the skills for it. I mean, it's not their fault. I mean, it's basically getting your first project, and it can be kind of nerve wracking. And that's my speculation, and probably also has been a mismanagement. Do you have any thoughts on this, Tips? Because I know you are a person who likes the Prince of Persia series a bit, I believe. So I know it's
I
definitely
mean,
same what Jay does.
well, definitely he does. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've enjoyed a little bit of it myself. Not as big as Jay or possibly you, but I have enjoyed it.
Hmm.
It does kind of make me sad that they had to just pass this along to someone else because they couldn't do it themselves. But I mean, what can you do with your don't really have a lot of the good stuff that you need?
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people are suggesting that they either just go ahead and just basically remaster the game. So the difference between again a remaster and a remake is that a remaster just basically updates the graphics with HD, HD textures and stuff like that makes things a bit more crisp. And then a remaster is for a game that's fully remade with new assets to it.
You mean remake?
Y- That's it. That's a remake
You
or
you
remaster.
said you said remaster the second time.
Okay, sorry about that. A remaster, oh goddamn it, a remake is no, it's where they remake it with new assets and everything looks basically 2022 or 2021, however you want to decide, this decade basically. So I feel like that there's a little bit of mismanagement within the depth, back in Ubisoft Mumbai and Pune. So hopefully they can get that sorted out and continue the project. I mean, it looks like here that they're going to be helping out still, I guess, certain aspects of it. So I wonder how that's going to turn out. But I wish the devs the best that that they can literally get this game out, in good times. Because I could definitely see it either coming out later this year or early next year. But who knows? Only time will tell. Do you have any last words for the Prince of Persia tips?
Not really.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to our very last big main topic here, you guys. So with this topic here, this one's kind of crazy to me because I wasn't expecting it. So Square Enix sold off for 300 million. That's $300 million, folks, to the Embracer Group. So as you guys know, Embracer Group, they've been basically buying up a lot of let's say double A or triple A, let's say really mostly double A companies or whatnot. And when they usually been buying up a lot of these double A companies, they are basically companies that can do remakes of certain games, like THQ, who came out, who remade the Destroy All Humans, and also the SpongeBob, what's it called, SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Battle remastered, basically, or remake, basically. And
Two
so
great classics of the early 2000s.
yes, and so this gets people like myself very excited because this is like, wow, the IPs that Square Enix has been holding on to has been insane. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. So as we go down here, as we're looking right here, you have that, Square Enix is known for their Final Fantasy IPs. So with their Final Fantasy IPs, that's never on the table. That's their stuff. That's Final Fantasy. They're also going to be keeping retaining ownership of the Just Cause series, Outriders, and Life is Strange. And that's perfectly fine. Square Enix, they're gonna have to have some of their IPs like that. Now, though, one of the crazy things here that they also own is Sleeping Dogs now. And so Sleeping Dogs was a great fun game. So if you haven't played Sleeping Dogs, it is a spiritual successor to the True Crime series that came out on the PS2 and GameCube, by the way. So now, because this time the game takes place, if I remember it, in Hong Kong. So that was really cool. So I beat the game years ago, but just to see, hopefully that they do a remaster to that game, or even not even remaster, a sequel, going to be fucking insane. So I hope they can get that going. Now, Tips, do you want to read off the list of games that they're going to be owning, Tips, or tell us a little bit
Yes,
about
I
these?
will. So they own the following game: Akuji the Heartless. Sorry if I butchered that first word.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. That's fine.
Crash and Burn, Deus Ex, Gex, which I wasn't expecting, but that's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy of Kain, Mad Dash Racing, Pandemonium, Project Snowblind, Solar Eclipse, The Horde, The Unholy War, Thief, Tomb Raider, Total Apocalypse Turbo, Off-World Interceptor, and Whiplash.
Now, those are some classics, y'all, that's been dormant. And I'm talking about dormant for years. So I didn't realize Square Enix actually owned those IPs myself. I wasn't like expecting to own Gex like Tips was. I never wasn't expecting to own Pandemonium because Pandemonium was one of the funnest games I played. Well, funnest and hardest games I played on the PS1. And Project Snowblind too. I'm like, so there's some pretty good classics in there that we could definitely see make a comeback here. And for $300 million, it feels like Square Enix just didn't care. That's how it was. They're like, we know these IPs aren't gonna sell well, and they're like, we don't care. It's just why,
Imagine if Sega did that with some of their games.
right? Like just and also Nintendo. But again, we'll have to wait and see. So like, I'm about to make a topic on this in the future, but this is always the topic of like remakes versus remasters again. So people, and also it's called like this actually: remakes, remasters, and new IPs. So people will always like to see a new IP or a new game come out, right? Something new that's not an old character. But also there are people out there like me that don't mind games that get remakes, like full-fledged remakes into the modern world. So like, we can definitely see like a Gex remake with modern graphics because Gex can definitely be up there with Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
He definitely can be. Legacy of Kain. Legacy of Kain was another great game. I haven't played that game in many years, but to see it up on modern consoles, insane. Pandemonium, a classic PS1 game that with updated polygons. That's a platformer. Oh my god! Like, come on now, with modern graphics and works. So these things can happen. They literally can. And that's the thing with these. But here's the thing: remasters, or remakes, they cost money, and so they're people. You have to have basically peak interest into them. Okay. Now remakes are a little bit quicker and they're easier to make because you don't have to really do too much except just again update the HD graphics and make the game more capable of modern hardware. But other than that, it's insane. Now it says here that Square Enix will keep, of course, the rights to Marvel's Avengers and, of course, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy as well. So, but also, as you guys know, that Marvel's Avengers didn't really sell too well because they tried to make it into a gas game, or if you guys don't know what gas game stands for, games as a service. So, of course, not every game, like, it's crazy to me. Not every game needs to be a games as a service. Not every game, but hey, these days, you know. Um, and then let's see here. It's just crazy to me that Square Enix literally they just threw away certain games like it was trash to me. Oh, also I forgot a big one that they also get too is Tomb Raider. That's another one there. The Crystal Dynamics owns. So the Tomb Raider remakes or the newer games are actually pretty darn good. So I would say to see another Tomb Raider game come out next with Crystal Dynamics is going to be pretty good. What are your final thoughts on the Embracer Group tips? Like, do you think it's a good thing, bad thing? Like, what are your thoughts?
I can only say that I'm just gonna wait and see what they do with these IPs to
Hmm.
see if it's good or bad because I mean some of them, yes, I've seen that it's good, but it's the execution of what they could do
Yeah,
from in the future that for these games.
yeah, I can definitely agree to that. I can really agree to that.
So I'm just gonna, keep it as a I don't know or just, try not to be too hyped until I know for sure.
Oh, bet. And last that I forgot to mention is that they also now own companies such as Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. So hopefully we can see some good franchises make a comeback from this, and it'll make all of us gamers happy. I guess you could say. But if you guys enjoyed this podcast here, please remember to like and subscribe, guys. That would be very appreciated, and also click on the notification bell to be notified on when the next videos are going to be coming out. Lastly, if you guys haven't already, definitely consider subscribing to my Patreon, guys, where you guys can subscribe to as low as $2 a month. But thank you for watching. Tips, any last words?
No.
That's it. All right, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support. Peace out. And much love, buddy. Have a good one, y'all. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.